Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my channel, Music and Mental Health. I came to the realization this morning that I'm experiencing a serious compassion fatigue. And if you're not aware, you can look up what compassion fatigue is, but generally, I learned about compassion fatigue a couple years ago from a therapist when I was assisting my dad. I was doing caretaking for my dad while he was unwell, and then also I was dealing with work, and then I was dealing with social life side of work, friends, family, etc. So what that looked like for me at that time was that I simply felt emotionally exhausted, and as I was trying to help people with their various things that they had going on, even if I was trying to help, or even if I knew that somewhere deep down inside I cared about what was happening with them, I didn't feel anything. And that's the point that I have gotten to right now for a different set of reasons. You start a job. The job is cool when you first start out with it. I'm not going to say I loved it, but it was okay. It was okay as it was. Then they say, hey, Mark, now we're going to switch all these people that you developed this rapport with and everything, and we're going to give you a whole new set of people because you're somebody who's good at adapting to changes. That's our only reason for switching all of these people from you to somebody else and giving you new people. Now the new people are going to be in so many different areas. They all lived in one county, and now you're going to get people that are like an hour and a half away from you, 2 hours away, and then you're going to have to be an Uber driver, basically, driving all over New York to meet them, right? Then you get the problematic people that other case managers are having issues getting along with. Oh, you take all those people, Mark, because you are good at handling those people. All right, now we are going to double your caseload. I'm like, oh, okay, you're going to double my caseload. Where do they do that at? Where do they sign you up for a job and double something and don't increase anything? Obviously, the place that I'm working. So, as I was explaining yesterday, they said, it's not really going to be like double. You're thinking of it the wrong way because we are hiring somebody who's going to assist you, blah, blah, blah. The person who's assisting me barely assists, and really what they do basically gives me more work to do. Like, they do work that works against what I'm working on, and then I have to clean it up. Like today, for an example, hi to all these new people, and hi Lisa. For an example, I had an appointment that I scheduled with somebody while I was out. This assistant rescheduled the appointment. So I call this person this morning, and I'm like, hey, I'm just confirming our appointment for today at noon. Oh, such and such called and said the appointment is 11. If I already have an appointment scheduled with somebody, why did you need to call that person at all? And what would possess you to be like, oh, the appointment was 12, but let me change it to 11? Reach out to the guy. Why did you change the appointment to 11 o'clock? Oh, because I asked I asked the person what time the appointment was with you, and he said 11. It's written down. It's in my notes. I have a note. He can see the note. He can look up the note. It's on my calendar. It's on my Outlook calendar. Oh, the person said they thought it was 11, so I said, yeah, it's 11. There's only so many times that I can't, I don't even have the energy to complain about it anymore. It's just so stupid at this point. It's just so stupid at this point. So today, as I've been making my rounds and calling people, because I wake up in the morning, log in at 8 o'clock. Hey, Tom. Hey, Jessica, Jane, Alyssa, I'm calling whoever. How are you feeling? You know, like, what's going on with your hospital stay? How's that injury doing? How's your depression going? Like, I'm calling people and talking to them about things that are very important in their lives, that I have to be a level of calm and a relatively low stress level to actually care about these issues, to actually really care about these issues. And I'm tired of companies really being like, oh, this is how you can serve this person, this is how you can help that person, and this is what you can do for this one. Why aren't you doing enough of that for that? And how come you're not helping this person with this? And you need to make sure they're happy with that. Oh, but self-care. When, where, who, what, when, where, how, and why? Like, where is the self-care part of it? When do you even have time for that? How do they promote that other than telling you, oh, you can sign up for, what's it called? Can't even think of the name right now. The therapy that gets offered by your work, I forgot what it's called, but you can sign up for that. Make sure to take walks in between visits, this and that and the other. They're not stressing over whether you do that stuff or not. They just want the job to get done. And if you do the job to the point of you just getting burnt out, who cares? We just get somebody else. So I've reached that level of I don't care, that I don't like feeling, because I don't do work like this because I don't care. It's a job that, it's a field that doesn't really pay unless you happen to be a psychiatrist, or if you are an LCSW or an LMSW with your own practice, or like a nurse practitioner or something that can prescribe meds. Like, there's not too much pay, and there's not too much pay outside of, and most of us are burned out like this, quite frankly. I mean, I don't know how many people speak on that as much as I do. A lot of people do, but okay, next Thursday, 24th. Next Thursday. Okay. Even now I'm trying to today is not better than yesterday. And as a matter of fact, my issue yesterday with the client and all that stuff, and how I didn't do the form that my boss was trying to force me to do at the last minute, And I said no, and I went there and I didn't do it. Now I have a meeting scheduled for later. So we're gonna have a fantastic meeting later where she asks me, why didn't you do that? And I tell her the same thing, that I'm not doing that. I don't work on your schedule. I work on my own schedule. And I'm sure she's going to respond wonderfully to that. And all this is going on in the background, and it's so hard not to let that bleed into the care that I give these people. Because there's only so much as a human being that you have the capacity to take being pushed. And I've passed my limit. My limit was passed a long time ago, and I've been forcing it because I'm the person who, like, I hate poor customer service. So I hate when I go into a store or something and then I'm talking to somebody who works there and they're just giving me the craziest attitude. Because I'm like, I'm not the reason that you hate your job, so I should not be getting this attitude that you're giving me when all I did was walk in here and ask you a question. So I try my best not to be that way. With these clients, but and then the other thing is, I'm talking about everything except the clients at this point. If you haven't noticed, I'm talking about everything except the clients. There are also clients that, just based on their life circumstances and just being angry and being symptomatic and stuff, yell at you, curse you out, say crazy things, and you're dealing with that too. I have a few people that I have to call that are like that are really just entitled. Like they don't realize that the majority of the people, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. It wasn't even the client that requested a change. I still haven't even called that person, and I need to call them today. But truthfully, I shouldn't even have to call that person again, because if you tell your boss, this person verbally abused me at this last session, and screaming at the top of their lungs and cursing and even saying racial slurs in your session, and it's like, oh, the response to that, oh my goodness, when I think about it, it makes me angry all over again. I tell my boss that I go to this person's house a couple weeks ago for our visit. She has needs that she wants taken care of. So I'm trying to help her with those things. She starts screaming at me, like yelling, screaming, cursing at me, racial slurs, among other things. And I tell my boss about this. You would assume that they would be like, oh, no, this person, you know what? Just like you have standards that you have to adhere to at work, they have standards that they have to adhere to be a part of this program. So we're gonna call them, like, protect your employee at that point. And even if you make me continue to see them, at least have some kind of word with them. Oh, but no, they do have a conversation with that person, and that person complains about all the things that I'm not doing for them. My boss comes back to me and says, I'm sorry, Mark. I know she's difficult. I know that she, is a handful. Several of us have dealt with her before, but she's honestly a big teddy bear. I was infuriated when I read that message. That you're telling me that somebody who disrespected me, was yelling in my face, and called me multiple racial slurs in a home visit is a big teddy bear. What? Like, it has been taking every last piece of patience and restraint not to just raise hell like I did in my last job, because that's what happened at my last job when they were doing things like this. I went to HR about it. I went to OMH, the Office of Mental Health. I wrote things out to the Department of Labor. I contacted a job lawyer. I did a bunch of things to where I was well known and not liked in that company, to the point where I just had to leave. I just had to get out while the getting was good. And I have not wanted to be in that type of spot at this job, but they're pushing me there. They're doing more than the last company was, honestly. They're doing even more. So I don't know how I've restrained myself. I think at least a part of it is because my financial needs are greater now than they were when I was at the other company. I was in a little bit better of a financial position at the other place, to where I felt like if I do this and it backfires, I do have other options. Here, because of getting stuck, having to go 2 months with no job, I had to utilize resources that I didn't want to use, and it puts me in a different spot here. But Lord knows, if I could leave today, I would leave yesterday. Not today. I would leave yesterday. I would leave immediately. Well, the thing is, I always find a way to be kind. But I think that it's obvious when I can't feel empathy. And in this case, it's not the compassion fatigue that I was experiencing when I was taking care of my dad was due to circumstances beyond anyone's control. He had serious needs, and these were like 24/7 needs. So he didn't choose to have Alzheimer's and dementia. He didn't choose to fall when he tried to get up. He didn't choose to need assistance going to the bathroom and getting his food and all this stuff. This was just the nature of his condition led to that. This kind of compassion fatigue is something that is happening because of people really not caring, because of my management not caring about my mental state in any capacity. Mark, do this. Mark, do that. Mark, do this, do that, do this, and do that. When do you say thank you? When do you say, I appreciate all this hard work that you've done? When do you say, hey, I'm going to dive in there and assist you with something to make your life a little easier? How about that? When does that happen? Obviously never. It's kind of a rhetorical question, but it never happens. Never happens. So that's where I'm at. I would like to come on here and give a better report, but I'm just not gonna have one. I just have to use my weekends to charge up, put the job down, and it's 5 o'clock somewhere. My job ends at 4 o'clock, so 4 o'clock, I'm logging off of that, and it's not going to exist again until Monday. But I'm still going to continue seeking out other means to live, because this ain't it. But I hope everyone enjoys their Friday, and please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more great content. Thank you all.